I finally made it to the land of capoeira, caipirinhas, carnival, and caffeine overload, at least for me. This is São Paulo, Brazil, which has more remote workers than any other city in North or South America. So let's meet some of them, shall we? Most of the people I've met on the road have had full-time remote jobs. Today, I'm gonna meet someone on the other side, one of Brazil's top gig freelancers. Just wait till you see what he has in store for me. This is Out of Office, episode 32.
Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, Cesar?
How you doing, Cesar? Yeah.
Cesar.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where have you brought me?
It's Batman's Alley here in São Paulo. Yeah, it's the place for graffiti artists in São Paulo. Cobra is one of them. I don't know if you've heard of Cobra.
I have heard of. I follow Cobra on Instagram.
Yeah, he's awesome. You see, you've got shops, you got commerce, you got bars near here. It's a lovely place to be and see art and see street art. It's amazing. I love art. I've always worked with art in a certain way. You know, my first job was as a graphic designer, but I saw that the company had a need for video editing, and they didn't know that I did video editing. So I said, look, I do video editing. I can do that for you. However, this computer here, it's not gonna handle that. My computer at home is gonna work fine, but I'm gonna have to stay home to do that for you. And I did do the job, and I delivered the job, and they trusted me a little bit more after that. And so I think I've always, in some capacity, worked remotely, yeah.
So tell me, what kind of remote worker are you?
That's a great question.
Hey.
I'm an actor. So remotely, what I do most is voice acting.
How long have you been working remotely?
Full-time, 10 years. I started working in 2006 when I was 20 years old, I think. And I had to be there actually at 8 a.m. and I left at 7:48 p.m. And it was awful because I very quickly realized that my job was not doing my job, it was being there on time. That's when I realized, I can't do this all my life. I cannot.
Yeah.
And I realized I had to, commute to a place for over an hour, take 2 trains, take a bus, and then walk under the rain and arrive with wet socks.
Classic.
And get there and realize that the computer isn't working, that the internet isn't fast. And I very quickly realized, okay, my job would have been done by now if I worked from home.
The best thing about working remotely?
Being able to, wake up anytime and being able to be at home with my wife and take care of the house and cook, live my life the way I want to live it and be able to handle everything at the same time.
Coffee or cocktails?
Coffee, always.
Where's the best coffee in São Paulo?
There's a place called Coffee Lab.
Yeah?
They actually offer coffee tastings. You want to go there or not?
I mean, I'm always up for a cup of coffee.
It's got a coffee tasting thing, I think. You're gonna love it, man. If you like coffee, it's gonna be great.
I didn't have the heart to tell him I've had 4 cups already.
So it's right here. Can you smell it?
Oh, that smells good.
Please, go ahead.
This place is cool. Oh, that's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
So you're a voiceover artist. Predominantly, that's your main income.
Yeah.
But you're freelance then. You have lots of gigs.
I have 5 contracts, some from Brazil, some not from Brazil, that are ongoing, and I get paid a salary, a fixed amount each month. But I do have dozens of other freelance clients around the world. Yeah.
Who hires you?
A lot of people. So I have one client that still hires me for video editing and graphic design, which is the only Brazilian client I have right now, the only big Brazilian client I have right now.
You mainly work overseas.
Yeah, exactly. I have clients from Ukraine. I have 2 clients from Ukraine, big clients.
I did not expect Ukraine to be the first country you said.
Ukraine is the country that purchases the most from me, and I don't know. I don't know why.
Because I heard that you are one of, if not the top-rated freelancer in Brazil.
I'm a part of a few different marketplaces, online marketplaces that you have right now. So these marketplaces have been around for a while, but after the pandemic, things kind of exploded, right?
So what is your number 1 tip for getting to be as highly rated as you are?
I think it's really the small things. It's like communicating with your client. Communicating often is really important because remote work, it's been around for a long time, but it still feels new to some people, especially some clients who are more traditional minded, I think. And I think they still think that you're slacking off.
Yeah.
They still, remote work is associated with that. Unfortunately, it is still associated with that. If you communicate often, okay, so the project is going like this and like that, and I found this little difficulty, but I'm working around that.
Yeah.
I have a question, if you have questions, ask them like as soon as possible, because if you're just trying to figure out what the client wants, it's gonna take you time, and you're gonna have to ask anyway.
Yeah.
Or do something that might not be correct, and it's gonna be terrible for everyone.
You're constantly pitching. You're needing to get new work all the time and run a whole business.
Yeah.
Do you find that difficult?
It was kind of hard to get the ball rolling and clients to trust me with their projects. But once you get one, the first client, you do a good job, you deliver on time and they like it. The second one comes much easier and the third one much easier. So nowadays, I barely pitch. I barely go after clients, barely.
You're a lucky man.
I think I am. I think because I always have work. I think that's the most important thing. Because I'm a workaholic. I can't be without work. I always wanted to work as a voice actor with cartoons.
Yeah.
And I was never able to do it before the pandemic. When I started with the online working and remote working, I was able to reach a bigger audience. I am now involved in like 3 cartoon projects in Portuguese and in English.
Do you do most of your recordings in English or in Portuguese?
I think most of them are in English because I'm also an audiobook narrator.
Oh, cool.
And I have a contract with an audiobook company. I just completed an audiobook with 79 characters. We all have insecurities as a worker, as a remote worker or otherwise. And when you're doing something that's so on the ledge, like, okay, so I need to do an accent right now professionally, which I have never done. And nobody asked me if I could do this accent before hiring me, okay? So I need to learn this right now and do this right now. But I learned to take it easy because if the client likes it, that means that I did the job well.
You keep getting rehired, so you must be doing something right.
Yeah. I like to think that as well. The simple fact that I work for customers from abroad, that means I make money in dollars.
Yeah.
Which is so much more than the Brazilian real. I don't think it's fair that money weighs different. Remote work has really opened the entire world of clients for me.
The whole world can hire me.
Yeah, I'm connected to the planet, You haven't even tried the espresso, you've only tried the cappuccino.
Oh, yeah.
This is super strong, it's so good. Yeah, it's super strong, isn't it? It's really
Oh my
good.
gosh, that's very strong.
Told you.
It is a good thing that I really like coffee,
Yeah.
César, because I've had so much coffee today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be jittering all the way home. So what would be your biggest tips for someone in Brazil who wants to do what you do, working remotely for global companies in the thing that they love?
I think no matter your line of work, you need to have discipline, a lot of discipline. And as an artist, I'm not very disciplined. I don't wake up every day at the same time. I don't go to sleep at the same time. There are nights where I don't sleep. Being disciplined and knowing that if you have a due date, you have to deliver by that due date. If it is impossible to deliver by that due date, you have to communicate with your client and explain to them why it is impossible and what is the best you can do. So I think communicating with your client is the most important thing. And discipline is the most important skill that you need to develop as a remote worker. Yeah.
What do professional workers in Brazil have to offer the world that maybe the world doesn't realize?
My God, everything. Because, Brazilians are very creative. Brazilians are very hardworking. We do not shy from work. We know that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to get what we want and what we need. And once you open up a door to a complete whole world of clients, we're ready to work. We're ready to do it.
César, it has been an absolute pleasure meeting with you today. Thank you so much. You've been very generous.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Take care.
I had a blast hanging out with César, but for some reason the thing that stuck with me the most was that he lived with his mom until his mid-30s. Setting aside the obvious comedic potential, it really made me think about how different cultural norms like the age people move out of home can affect our remote work environment. On the next episode of Out of Office, I'll meet with 2 remote experts who solve this problem in different ways. One by providing a haven where remote workers who still live with their moms can have a professional meeting without admitting it. and another by paying boatloads of cash so people could afford to create their own haven at home and leave mom in peace. But this all has me wondering, would you have moved out of home at a different age if you'd always worked remotely? Me, I got out at age 18, but my first pad was no haven, so perhaps mom would have been stuck with me a little longer. Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. I'm Andrew Allen, and the future of work is out of office.